Hey y'all, hey, so I'm back with another video. So, I'm back to do my every now and again, y'all know I like wrestling. I'm here to do my wrestling video really fast. I just want to say that, like, ever since I got back into wrestling, which is after WrestleMania 40, I felt like the first year before it was on Netflix, I felt like, okay. I see what y'all doing a little bit. Then once they got on Netflix, it was like, okay, I'm not sold all the way. But they still had good moments. Like the John Cena heel turn. Although to me they didn't follow up well on that. But the actual heel turn itself was great. And the storyline leading up to the heel turn was great. I felt like the Jade, Bianca, Naomi situation was great. Like, to me, it was like, okay, I could see how, I could see the little sparkles. But I just want to say that, like, the last year, specifically since, like, the middle of, like, John Cena's, like, run to now, specifically last night, it literally just reminded me why I stopped watching wrestling. Like, as a somewhat casual, I would call myself a little bit, as I always tell you, I don't really know exactly how to, like, frame myself as far as a fan, because I'm not, like, super deep, but I also kind of know probably more than, like, the average person. Again, that's mostly based on, like, the YouTube people that I watch. But, like, y'all really just made me remember why I stopped watching wrestling for over almost 20 years, because it was mostly just a bunch of bullshit. And I want to say that where we are now, last night was like the cherry on top of, like, why I genuinely might be done watching this show as much, like, watching WWE as much as I do. Like, I'm serious. I've already been kind of, like, falling off because I just skimmed past most of it. I skipped past the majority of it. It's just a bunch of bullshit. So, like, last night, there's, like, so many little topics within here that I really want to touch on. With how I'm feeling right now with the WWE and their bullshit. But, like, let's start off what happened last night, right? So last night was SmackDown. Now, as I told y'all before, I don't watch SmackDown. I want to say I just started watching SmackDown because, first of all, I needed to get my VPN. So I got my VPN. I think I just started watching SmackDown maybe, let's say, like, a month and a half ago, maybe. Like, not that long ago. Prior to that, I would only watch, like, little clips here and there. But the reason I started watching, again, I had my VPN, so it was easy for me to. But also, I felt like I was always missing, like, half of the story, right? Because I only watch Raw. So I was literally, like, missing, to me, a lot of, like, storylines, to me, that was coming from SmackDown. Although I've always heard that SmackDown is a terrible show. I said, fuck it, I'm gonna watch. First of all, let's start here. SmackDown being 3 hours is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know who thought that SmackDown being 3 hours is a good idea. It's a terrible fucking idea. Y'all need to cut that shit down to, like, y'all do with Raw, which is like 2.5 hours. I think normally Raw is like 2.5 hours. And even I think that's too much. I think they need to cut it down to like an hour and a half to 2 hours. That's it. We need to get very quick, concise, to the point stories, okay? And wrestling as well. So 3 hours to me is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know who thought that that would be a good idea. Y'all need to cut that down. So that's number down one, okay? Number two. Again, let's talk about what happened last night. So WrestleMania is coming up. WrestleMania is today's April 4th. So it's in about roughly like maybe 2 weeks or whatever, right? And we've been doing all of these storylines, specifically with, like, Randy versus Cody, okay? Fine. I am not, again, as entrenched in the WWE world, so I don't know Cody and Randy's history, but I've heard, from watching people that I watch, that it's pretty deep and long. Hey, that's what she said. As far as their history is concerned. So, okay, fine. I know Randy. I love Randy Orton. I told y'all, when I was a kid, Triple H was my husband, which we are more than divorced at this point. But when I was growing up, Triple H was my husband, Batista was my boyfriend, and Randy Orton was my side piece. And that's always, ask any of my cousins, I swear that was always how it was. Triple H was my husband, Batista was my boyfriend. Randy Orton was my side piece. And Randy Orton was always my side piece because he was like the bad boy or whatever, right? But I always found him like very attractive and like, ooh, like I can mess with you on the side. So I love Randy Orton. Love Randy Orton down, okay? And I thought the way that they were building up the story, I thought it was okay. It could be better, but I was cool with it. You know, when they did the whole Randy turning heel, I thought for me that kind of fell flat. But it's cool. It's whatever. We're just trying to get to WrestleMania. Now, throughout the weeks, Randy Orton has been getting phone calls, right? During like in the little backstage things. And whoever he's on the phone with is pretty much telling him without his hearing that like you pretty much need to be like, you need to be the dog. You need to listen to the voices in your head. You need to whoop Cody's ass pretty much. Like you need to be that dog. So it's been a lot of speculation about who is Randy talking to on the phone. To me, similar to the whole the box situation. What's in the box? What's in the box? And it turned out to be Danhausen, who I didn't even know who the hell that was. So I really didn't want to have my expectations too high because we were just let down not that long ago with the box situation. But I also felt like, well, because hopefully WWE saw how disappointed people were by the box thing, I would hope that y'all wouldn't set up like another like mystery thing like right after the whole box thing and not make it like mean something. How fucking wrong was I? How fucking wrong was I? Completely wrong, right? So Stephanie McMahon came out, I think it was on Raw or whatever, and had her little back and forth with Cody. So there was speculation. Some people was like, ooh, maybe it was Stephanie. Maybe it's Triple H. Maybe it's The Rock. Maybe it's Kevin Owens, which I thought that was a sickening idea. Maybe it's Kevin Owens. Maybe it's Randy Orton's daddy. You know, that's telling him all the stuff on the thing. So we have SmackDown yesterday. Randy comes out, he does his 1-2. I appreciated that when Cody came out, he didn't give us the whoa. Like, I appreciate that he was just like straight to business, right? Straight to business, because he just beat the out of you a few weeks ago, and then you came the following week being all calm collected. Like, we're past that. So he comes in, they start fighting or whatever, and then out of nowhere, I'm gonna be honest, at first I didn't know who that was that came into the ring. Somebody I saw in the comments of somebody's chat was like, I was there and I dead ass thought a fan had jumped in the ring. Right, that's what I thought. Hop in the ring, bitch, it's Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee. We haven't seen Pat McAfee in God knows how long, right? And he ended up bringing us up in his promo, but they had asked him not that long ago about like him coming back to WWE. And he was like, oh, I think the business has passed me. So everybody's like, oh, okay, cool, he ain't coming back. Now, I know a lot of people that watch wrestling, like, you know, that are religiously watch wrestling, they didn't like Pat McAfee on commentary. Now, I was confused because when I came back into watching wrestling, it was him and Michael Cole, and it was confusing to me. Now that I've been watching the wrestling for 2 years, but very consistently for 1 year solid, I absolutely think that Pat McAfee is not great. I like Corey Graves. Outside of him being fine. Oh my gosh, Corey Graves is so damn fine. His wife is a lucky woman. Corey Graves is fine as hell. Outside of Corey Graves being fine as hell, I like Corey Graves and Michael Cole. That's my, like, to me, that's the best on commentary, right? And all of y'all that shit on Michael Cole, like, please go jump off a bridge. You could never shit on Michael Cole. Please, find a bridge, jump off of that. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So, he comes into the ring or whatever, and everybody's like, and I'm like, what the fuck is actually going on here? So he pretty much goes on to do this whole long little promo or whatever about how, the WWE pretty much, to be quite honest, I'm gonna tell you what it is. Somebody been on Twitter. I hate when y'all do this, not just WWE, but like rappers too. I hate when, like, during a beef, right? This was one of my biggest issues with, like, the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef is, like, it was just a whole bunch of, like, Twitter shit thrown on record. Y'all just went on Twitter, searched each other's names, and then took that information and threw it in a record. And that's how I felt about this promo. This promo was literally somebody from the creative team going on Twitter and coming on YouTube and taking all of the complaints that people been saying and just throwing it in a promo for Pat McAfee to say. So Pat McAfee goes on to say, oh, well, I'm here because WWE has been shit television and the WrestleMania tickets isn't selling out, because that's been like a big story about how I think maybe it's like 19% down from like last year, or 20%, somewhere like that as far as the ticket sales. And I constantly go, because I'm nosy, I constantly go on Ticketmaster to see how many tickets is left. Baby, specifically right there in the front, which is really where the cameras are going to be, them tickets are still on the floor. You might be able to get away with, like, the seats that's in the back not being sold, but, like, the seats right behind commentary, there's a shitload of them on the floor. I mean, still left. The ones, like, it's not on the camera side. Everything on the camera side, for the most part, is like sold because people want to be on TV. But everything on the back end, no, it's not. It's a mess. So he talks about the low tickets for WrestleMania. He talks about how last week's SmackDown, I think, was like rated as like one of the worst SmackDowns of all time. And just how like he's here to pretty much like work with Randy to try to bring the WWE back to what it was, and Cody being the leader, he's not doing what the fuck he's supposed to do, and it's just all terrible, and it's all terrible, and you forgot about the Attitude Era fans, and I like, there's so many things about that small promo that I really want to talk about. First of all, let's talk about this. Y'all tried to do the whole, let me put my tea out there before you can talk about my tea type situation. Like, let me put my own self on blast before y'all do. But the thing is, we've already put y'all on blast. So that's number one. Number two, the whole like self-deprecating thing to me that works if y'all gave a absolute A+ show after this, then that promo works. And like somebody said, if Kevin Owens was the one that was saying this, okay, cool. I still think it's a bunch of bullshit, but if y'all at least put forward a A+ show, then that promo hits. But y'all go on to put on a shit-ass show. Meanwhile, y'all are in the middle of putting on a shit-ass show with Pat McAfee being the person that even stepped in. Who asked for that? I really want to know. Now, allegedly, they're saying that Ari Emanuel, who I think is like the head of TKO or whatever, like he's the top guy, whatever, that he is Pat McAfee's agent, and that he's the one who pretty much made the call to be like, oh, we need to get Pat in there. And it gives very much so when The Rock said last year the only reason why he was part of the heel turn is because Ari called him to say that ticket sales was low for the Elimination Chamber and they needed somebody. Okay, let me say something. The Rock moves the needle as far as tickets being sold. I'm not mad at that phone call because The Rock does move the needle. You think that calling Pat McAfee is gonna make people buy more fucking tickets? Have y'all lost your minds? Like, sometimes I promise these execs, y'all are so out of touch. You are completely out of touch with reality. If you thought that you getting Pat McAfee to come on to this program was gonna do anything for your WrestleMania tickets, first of all, like let's talk about WrestleMania for a second. Who is paying? I looked yesterday to sit in like the third row, right? Granted, I'm fine with the fact that it's gonna cost a lot of money. It is $16,000. I'm not exaggerating. It is 16,000 American USD doubloons to sit in the third row for WrestleMania. Who the fuck do y'all think y'all are? Bitch, I don't care if this was the Super Bowl. I think that's ridiculous for the Super Bowl, but y'all not the Super Bowl. Even if y'all was, like I said, I would still think that that's absolutely ridiculous. But $16,000 fucking dollars? $16,000 to sit in the third row for WrestleMania. Now, if you go on a commentator side, you back up, I want to say maybe like 10 rows back from like the commentary seat, $8,000. Y'all have lost your mind and y'all are completely out of touch with reality. Do y'all not understand where y'all clearly y'all don't, because y'all rich as hell and y'all are out of touch. Let me tell you where we are right now in this very country right now. We are pretty much in a recession. They don't want to call it that, but we are pretty much in a recession. People do not have money like that. People are getting laid off left and right. People freaking pay is getting cut. Have you seen the airports recently? Yes, they just recently played TSA. Amen. I'm glad y'all got y'all money. But at the end of the day, the airlines is a hot ass mess right now. Vegas, now, even though I love Vegas, I'm not speaking, when I say this, I'm speaking for everybody else, not me. I go to Vegas once a year. I'm going to go again probably around August, but that's just because that's me and my boo-boo's place. We love going to Vegas. That's our shit. But for the average person, if you just look numbers wise, the amount for people to go to Vegas is down. And it's like, for you to know how much it is, like, this is no cap. To and from Vegas, just the flights alone for me and my boyfriend, it is literally $2,000 on just flights alone. Then when we're talking about the actual hotel, if you want to stay in a decent hotel, which we normally do, you're talking another almost $2,000 for a hotel. Then on top of that, you're not including food. You ain't including marijuana, okay, because it's legal out there. You ain't talking about drinks. You're not talking about activity. That's at least another $2,000 to $3,000. It's almost a $10,000 trip for me and him to go to Vegas to have a nice time. So my thing is, you want us to spend $2,000 on a flight, $2,000 on a hotel, another $2,000 on food and everything else, and then on top of that, $8,000 for a fucking ticket. Have y'all lost it? And all of these little sales and stuff that y'all are doing is too late. Y'all outpriced y'all customer. Y'all thought y'all was nickel slip. Wait, what is it? You was nickel slipping. You got your dime. Whatever the fuck it's called, bitch. Y'all thought nobody is paying that. Specifically not in this economy. And specifically not for wrestling. People are not paying that for wrestling. And my thing about it is, my rule is, I'm never paying more for anything than I pay to go see Beyonce. The most I've ever paid to go see Beyonce is probably $800. And I was so fucking close to the stage. If you want to be in the pit, it's $1,000. I'm not paying more for WrestleMania than I'm paying to go see Beyonce, Giselle Knowles Carter. It's not gonna fucking happen. So y'all really tried it. So my whole thing is, you want to point out the low WrestleMania tickets. Okay, well, how about, it has less to do with the storyline. I mean, part of that, obviously, because if people is interested, they'll go. But the point of the matter is, y'all outpriced y'all customer, and y'all thought y'all was slick. Y'all thought because people paid what they paid last year, that you going to up it in the same spot, and people are going to pay. They're not. It's not going to happen. And I think I'm so glad that people did not buy, because I think this is going to be the biggest signal to y'all that y'all need to get it together. We're talking about the average American. Really, really, really rich people are not into wrestling like that. That's just the facts of the matter. Very wealthy people are not into wrestling like that. The people that are wrestling is everyday working class ass people. And people cannot afford that. Y'all have lost y'all damn minds, okay? So that's number one. Number two, let's talk about the whole, this is the lowest rated SmackDown. Again, I'm fine with you saying that if you give us an A+ product this same episode, which y'all didn't. It continued to be trash. And like I said, the fact that y'all really thought that adding Pat fucking McAfee was gonna do something other than piss people the fuck off, you're not smart, you're not listening. Sorry, so let me also say something about the Attitude Era, right? Because Pat McAfee also was like, oh, WWE has forgotten about the Attitude Era fan, and like we don't exist no more. Okay, this is my whole thing, right? As somebody that got into wrestling, because I'm a 90s baby, early 90s baby at that, because I'm an early 90s baby, yes, when I started watching wrestling, it was during the Attitude Era, and going into the Ruthless Aggression Era. I need y'all to understand something. And to be fair, when I first started watching wrestling again, I did feel like, oh my gosh, like this is not the wrestling that I grew up on. This is not the Attitude Era. This is not the Ruthless Aggression Era. But this is my whole thing about it. The more that I really thought about this, we will never get back to the Attitude Era. And I need fans in particular and the company as a whole, because it seems like y'all are trying to do that. I need y'all to let it go. It's not gonna happen. We are no longer in that time frame, okay? People don't think that way anymore. People don't act that way. People don't move that way anymore. And something, like, in particular that I think most people don't really realize is, I know everybody's like, oh, the Attitude Era was the best era. It was the most popular era that it was. Okay, but I need people to understand that's for a lot of different reasons outside of the fact that the product was quote-unquote good. What y'all need to realize is that the Attitude Era, yes, it was its most popular era, but it wasn't just because, oh, the storylines was so great. Y'all need to understand that America, period, during that time frame was just a like, that was to me peak consumerism for the US. Because think about this. During the Attitude Era, you also had, if we shift to hip hop for a second, that's what we refer to as the shiny suit era. The shiny suit era meaning when you got all of the niggas in the like Diddy and stuff like that, and everybody, that's when they coming out with the shiny suits, and like the money in hip hop was just enormous. It was just ridiculous. Like I said, freaking TVs in the headset, Escalades, like during that time frame. Also during the time frame, Attitude Era is during the big pop boom era, talking about when Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, when they're selling 1 million plus copies. Y'all are not also like I said, understanding that part of the reason why the Attitude Era was so big is simply because where America was at the time, we were just at peak consumerism during that time. Late 90s, early 2000s, peak consumerism. That's why you're never gonna see record sales like that during that time frame. Like I said, 1 million plus copies within a week. You're not gonna see like the amount of money that was spent and that was being made at that time. You're never gonna see that again. We're not in that era anymore. Peak consumerism is done. It's dead. And specifically right now, people are so like anti-capitalism and anti-consumerism that we're not gonna get there. So I want people to understand that yes, the Attitude Era was great. Yes, the Attitude Era was amazing. But y'all also need to remember just the specific time frame that we were in. Everything was on 10 at that time. Everything during that freaking era in general was times 10. That's just because of, again, how American culture was, how consumerism was. We were just at like the peak of that during that time frame that the Attitude Era fell in. And I need people to remember that. We're never going to get back to that era. So instead of y'all constantly trying to like go back to an era from 25 years ago, 26 years ago at this point, that's never gonna happen again. How about y'all start trying to carve out your own individual lane of an era versus just constantly trying to pull back from yesterday? Because all you niggas do on WWE is go back and take people from the Attitude Era because that was y'all peak and try to bring them in today to try to bring everybody from the past. Like, no, it's time to, like Oba, Trick, Javon, actually all the fucking black people, that's what y'all need to be doing. Pushing the people, that's the future, and it's gonna bring this new era that y'all have. I mean, you know, creating a new era, not constantly trying to pull from the past. It's not gonna happen. You are not gonna be able to tell people to suck it in today's world. It don't work like that. So please, let the Attitude Era go. Let it go. It's never gonna happen again. So he kind of pissed me off a little bit with bringing that up. It's not gonna fucking happen. What was my other damn point, y'all? Because I'm sorry, I took a few notes because I was genuinely aggravated by this whole situation. Let's go to the celebrities part of what's going on with the WWE, right? So Pat McAfee, to me, is just in a long line of y'all constantly trying to pull in celebrities, whatever, to try to boost y'all shit. Jelly Roll now all of a sudden is so integral within this. Like I said, you got Pat McAfee, Jelly Roll, I Show Speed, Little Yachty. Like, I need y'all to understand that those people's fan bases is not translating the way that you think that it is. Bad Bunny was actually out, because I went back and I watched the whole little Bad Bunny era. That was actually really, really good. But it's like, it's not going to translate always the way that you think that it is. First of all, I don't know shit about Jelly Roll, so I can't speak for him. Pat McAfee has a mostly like not fan, but like, although WWE is a sport, it's just like more sports, like basketball, football type related. Most of those people ain't shifting over. Little Yachty has not been like super relevant, like heavily relevant in rap, and God knows how fucking long. Okay, just because you show Sexy Red, that don't mean anything at all. Like, y'all need to stop thinking that just because people are somewhat popular outside of the WWE, that it automatically means that their fans is going to follow them over here. At the most, they might watch the segment that they're in and that's it. But it's not going to pull nobody over. Specifically the people that y'all are picking. They're not going to pull nobody over. Did we not see that with Travis Scott? Did that work? No, it did not work. You didn't have a whole bunch of people that went to Astroworld sitting here trying to watch WWE for Travis Scott. Nobody fucking cares. The same way nobody fucking cares about Pat McAfee being on here. Okay? Also, another issue that I have, that I feel like WWE needs to work on. This whole babyface versus heel thing, it's time to put that shit to bed. It is 2026. the regular thing of a baby face versus a heel, it needs to evolve. I'm sorry. You can hate me, old time fans, but just looking at, as somebody that's only been here for like 2 years, 1 year consistently, the whole idea of a baby face and the heel, like, to me, it's outdated. That does not work in 2026. I was actually going to make a whole video on this, but I said I'm just going to do it within this. This is not the 1980s anymore. This ain't the 1990s anymore, where people are just so black and white with shit like, oh, this is the bad guy, oh, this is the good guy, and this is who we root for, and this is who we move for. We are just so much further, like, evolved in how we look at things, how we deal with things. We're specifically in, like, an anti-hero era anyway, like Breaking Bad or whatever. Like, Walt was technically it's technically a villain, but you want to know what? Because of his nuance as a character, we understand his background, we actually we rooted for Walt in Breaking Bad. Like, it's so many daggone, like I said, anti-hero movies and characters that, like, we kind of root for now. And like I said, in general, I think we are at a place where we understand, like, just as human beings, that nobody is all good, nobody is all bad. Like, we see the nuance within it. So it's very frustrating that with Cody and Randy, y'all trying to push Cody so badly as a fucking babyface and Randy as a heel, and it's not working. Niggas is booing Cody and rooting for Randy, whatever. The same thing with Trick Williams and Sammy. Niggas is booing Sammy and clapping for Trick, because we understand that there's nuance. And then in general, the whole pure baby face, that shit don't work in 2026. You trying to be a character, or y'all trying to put a character forth that's just, oh, I just love the fans, and oh my gosh, and this just means so much to me, which is all that Cody is. It does not resonate. I don't know how many times I gotta say this. It's frustrating. That shit don't resonate in 2026 with the average fan, because we know it's bullshit. Nobody is just completely, as Cody pretty much is presented to us, just like a full baby face and just all good and no bad. Where is the fucking nuance? Where's the nuance? I'm going to keep bringing up Real Housewives because it fucking applies. Even in Real Housewives, you have people that's designated as, like, the quote-unquote villain, right? Like Kenya on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, she's designated like the villain. Or like Teresa Giudice on Real Housewives of New Jersey is deemed like the villain. But even within those villains, there's still nuance to those people that we sometimes understand. Never Teresa, never. But with somebody like Kenya or whoever, we kind of see where they're coming from. And even with the people that are not necessarily deemed villains on the show, they still have shady ways about them, messy ways, things that you can cheer for, things that you can root for against them. And it's like y'all constantly just try to do this binary thing of this person is bad, this person is good. No, that's not even how real life works. There's gray, and it's all in the fucking middle. And y'all need to more lean into that versus, oh, this person is bad. And y'all constantly are trying to, like, control, like, and manipulate the way that the audience is reacting to these people, and it don't work like that. And it's starting to smack y'all in y'all face. Y'all brought Pat McAfee because y'all thought that it would make people boo Randy. I need y'all to understand this. When we get to WrestleMania, people will boo Cody when he gets his ass in there. He's gonna get booed, and Randy is gonna get cheered. That's just the facts of the matter. It's the facts. And instead of, like, leaning into it and just going, now maybe they'll turn Cody full heel at WrestleMania, but instead of just, like, leaning fully into it, y'all are just trying to make fetch happen. Stop trying to make fetch happen, please. For goodness sake, stop it, because it's not gonna fucking work. What else do I got here? Because I'm freaking aggravated by it, right? Then the whole Melo situation. Since we talking about Trick and Sammy, bro, y'all, and I'm gonna tie this right back into the celebrity thing. I am so tired of corporations using black people to get them to where they want to be and then completely disregarding them when they get to where they need to be. What I get aggravated is that y'all are specific, and I've been saying this for a while. I've noticed that the WWE in particular wants to lean very heavily into black hip-hop culture. You want to pull in a Sexy Red or a Yachty, or who else? Or I Show Speed. Or, even though I know I Show Speed is kind of whatever, but he's still black. y'all invited Joe Budden or whatever to the damn show or whatever, having this rapper and that rapper and this rapper and that rapper. Like, y'all want to be able to use them, right? When they sitting there in y'all crowds, y'all want to use them because, as y'all know, shout out to Dwight from The Office that said, y'all know that to make something hot, you got to get black people to like it. And then once you get black people to like it, then you kick the black people out so that the people that came in now stay. I'm tired of y'all using black people, us, to try to pull people in. But then when it's time to actually give the black people on the show what they deserve, now you don't. Okay, Trick Williams is on there. Y'all ain't have much of a choice. Trick is so damn over with the crowd. What choice do y'all have? But y'all don't want to give Melo his things when Melo been carrying. Like I said, I just started watching SmackDown not that long ago. And before I was watching SmackDown, I knew who Carmelo Hayes was. I knew that he was carrying. And the fact that y'all would play him to the side for Sami Zayn's weird ass really pisses me off. I don't care that y'all are trying to set it up because I know y'all got WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia next year and we trying to set him up. We don't give a fuck about none of that. Carmelo Hayes absolutely deserved way over Sammy to fucking be in WrestleMania. Why couldn't it just been him versus Trick? Too many black faces, huh? Too many damn black faces. I guess y'all felt like, we gave y'all 3 black girls last year and we're giving Trick something, and Jay got the title, so that's enough. It's not enough. Y'all are playing in our face. Carmelo Hayes outworks all them niggas on that show. All of them. The only other person I could think of that might be on his level is, what's the guy's name? I can't say his name right. Iglina Dragoff, whatever the guy is that he be going back and forth with. That's the only other person on there. The rest of them people on there do not deserve. And that's why when Melo came out, and y'all clearly know what the narrative is because y'all wrote it within y'all fuck ass script, that Carmelo Hayes actually deserves to be at WrestleMania, not Sammy. And what pissed me off is that y'all did that whole segment just to have Sammy still beat Melo at the end. Melo better be added to this damn WrestleMania by the time we get there, or I promise you I'm gonna come back up here and I'm really gonna dig into the racism within the WWE. I've really been like putting my foot on a brake when it comes to really delving into that, but I will really dig into y'all ass about how racist the WWE really is. Y'all really played on Carmelo's head top, and I'm the fuck over it. Stop trying to use black people to draw audiences in, and then when it's time to give the actual talent, the black talent, they're just dudes you want to yank them for Sammy's weird ass. Nobody wants to see Sammy versus Trick. Everybody wants to see Melo versus Trick. Why can't we just have the 2 black men fight each other? Y'all are full of shit. Triple KKKKK. I'm so sick of him. That shit got me hot too. And then, lastly, as I constantly want to complain about, the women's division is shit. I don't care that there's a woman, a head woman writer on Raw or SmackDown or whatever. It ain't showing, bitch. Do you watch The Real Housewives? Do you watch The Real Housewives? Because I keep saying this, and everybody want to get mad at me, but the facts is that y'all clearly, there are no women clearly around, because the way that y'all are writing these storylines for the women make 0 sense. None of these bitches got a reason to have an issue with each other. None of them. Y'all are completely botching the Jade and Rhea situation. Y'all are completely botching the Liv and Stephanie situation. The Liv and Stephanie situation is literally just racist. It's literally just like bigotry. That's all it is. It's Liv as the propped up as the blonde white girl that's talking down on the Hispanic a girl who got like that's just all that is. That's just race play y'all doing over there. So that's pissing me off. And then with the whole Jade and Rhea thing, instead of actually letting these bitches lean into the fact that they genuinely don't like each other, y'all want to make them play nice. Fuck all that. Y'all don't know how to write for women's division. That's why it's not interesting. Nobody cares. Like, where is the real fucking storyline between the women? There is no storyline. Y'all are really full of shit. And I'm freaking frustrated because I really got back into WWE because I'm like, you know what? I want to watch something, like similar to a soap opera, but it's not a soap opera, but it is a soap opera. You just get something new weekly or whatever. But y'all are really making me remember why I stopped watching this show. And I'm about this close to really being completely done with the whole thing and only watching like In the Clutch talk about it or Attitude Era Mike. I know that's not his name anymore. I think it's like Mike Trison, talk about it or whatever, or Russell talk about it, or Solo Monster talk about it, or NWWO talk about it, Dietrich Davis. That's where I'm at with it, because y'all are literally playing on my fucking head top. I'm sick of it. I'm done with my rant, y'all. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I'm out. Bye.